This video looks honest, and that's the trick, because everything you're about to see is designed to feel true before it's ever proven to be true. Hard-working people, early mornings, family farms, small businesses, the dignity of work. It's warm, it's relatable, and it disarms you. And then, once you're emotionally invested, the blame quietly slides into place. As we head towards the May elections, the political parties are now desperate for your votes. Kemi Badenoch is touring the ruins of the British economy, a crime scene her party spent 14 years creating, and she has the audacity to blame the people who just showed up to clean up the mess. First up is the Conservatives. The Badenoch starts with a little road trip on a farm, looking concerned, nodding at machinery. It's very cinematic. She finds a farmer struggling with investment costs.
What hours do you have to work on a farm?
Be out at 7 o'clock in the morning with harvest, and you might not come back until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock the following morning. Incredibly expensive bit of kit. If we can't continue farming with confidence, this sort of investment we just cannot put in.
Did the family farm tax have an impact on how you thought about investment?
I think it's the end of the farm going forwards at the moment, unless it changes. Our food in this country is very important. Why on earth they can't understand that and don't want to be proud of it, I just don't know.
The figures for new tractor registrations last year, 2025, are the lowest since the 1960s.
Oh my goodness.
Because of this government's policies.
Pour a bit out onto the ground for them.
Notice what just happened there. We didn't get a policy explanation, we got a mood. Long hours, exhaustion, pride, struggle. None of that's fake, but none of it proves anything either. She cites the 2025 tractor registrations being the lowest in decades. She frames this as a sudden catastrophic collapse caused by 18 months of labour. But if you actually look at the data, the decline in agricultural investment didn't start in July of 2024. It's a long, slow bleed caused by post-Brexit trade friction, soaring energy costs and unsustainable subsidies, all overseen by a government Kemi Badenoch served in. She's looking at 50-year trend and pretending it's a sudden injury. Then she moves to the factory floor.
I do worry about the disappearance of manufacturing. We are deindustrializing. So this is quick work.
You worry. You worry. Kemi, you were the Secretary of State for Business and Trade. You literally held the pen. If Britain's deindustrialising, and it is, that happened on your watch. To stand there now, acting like an outside observer to the decline of British industry, is pretty spectacular. But the most dangerous part of this video isn't the complaints, it's the solution.
The family farm tax have an impact on how you thought about investment?
I think it's the end.
The Tories have dubbed it the family farm tax. The branding is designed to make you picture a guy with 3 cows and a mortgage, barely scraping by. But the actual tax-free threshold for a married couple passing on a farm is now £5 million. If you're inheriting a farm worth £5 million tax-free and you're still crying poverty, you aren't a struggling family farmer. You're a landed millionaire with a liquidity problem. I mean, she calls a £5 million tax-free limit cruel. Let's talk about actual cruelty, because if you're a single person in this country, maybe a nurse or a teacher, who saved every penny, the government starts taxing your life savings at just £325,000. That threshold hasn't moved since 2009, but Kemi isn't out here fighting for you. She's fighting to ensure the landed estates get a tax-free allowance of 15 times larger than yours. So Kemi has openly admitted that she wants to scrap taxes for them. She wants to let the richest estates in Britain off the hook entirely. But how do you plan to pay for that? Because money doesn't disappear when you cut a tax. It has to come from somewhere else. And so there are only really 3 options. You either raise taxes somewhere else, you cut spending, or you borrow. And if you don't tell the voters which one you're choosing, you're not being optimistic, you're being evasive. But she actually does tell us.
The Conservative plan is about fairness. Labour is spending too much of other people's money. We need to cut welfare spending so that work pays and help is focused on those who really need it. That will allow us to create jobs and get growth. Charlotte, what are we cooking this evening?
We are cooking bolognese tonight. I'm an accountant.
Why did you have to go self-employed?
To be honest, it's so hard to be employed with kids.
And we'll abolish stamp duty, a terrible tax that punishes home ownership and stops people moving on in life.
There it is, there's the trade. She isn't talking about cracking down on fraud because the numbers just don't add up for that. To fill a hole left by scrapping taxes for the wealthy, you have to cut deep. She's previously argued for cutting support for people with anxiety and depression. So here's the deal on the table. She wants to strip benefits from people who are too sick or anxious to work and transfer that wealth directly to the people inheriting £5 million estates. It's like literally Robin Hood in reverse, robbing the poor and the disabled to pay for the rich. Real hardship isn't rewriting history, it's owning it. A clear plan isn't punishing the vulnerable to protect assets for the rich. The strategy here is simple. Detach the Conservative Party from its own record, pretend they are a brand new entity that just fell out of the sky to save you. But the mess is structural and the architects are the ones asking for your vote again. Don't let them rewrite history. This video asks you to feel before you think, because once you're moved, you're less likely to notice what's missing. And what's missing here is the truth.